In August 1368, the Yuan dynasty fell when an uprising led by Zhu Yuanzhang captured the capital Beijing. Later that year, Zhu Yuanzhang had himself proclaimed emperor and established the Ming Dynasty. The first half of the new dynasty saw agriculture developed to a level never seen before. The improved agriculture technology freed up labor, which in turn encouraged the development of handicrafts, industry, and commerce. Urbanization increased as the population grew again in Ming Dynasty. China raised its profile on the international stage, thanks in no small part to the great navigator Zheng He, who, through his legendary voyages, he made contact with the outside world, helped strengthen ties between the Ming Dynasty and the governments in other parts of the world. Japan, state from Indonesia, the Indian Ocean, and even the east coast of Africa and Arabia. During the Ming Dynasty, there were new achievements in architecture, shipbuilding, porcelain making, and textiles. Products made in China were already well known throughout the world for their high quality and supreme craftsmanship. But during the Ming Dynasty, Chinese technology was to reach an unprecedented level. In the process, adding yet more vibrant colors to the civilization of China. The Ming Dynasty was founded in the year 1368, and after a few years of recovering following the overthrow of the previous Yuan Dynasty, the nation began to thrive once again. In the year 1405, the Ming Emperor proclaims that a magnificent royal palace would be built in Beijing. Today, that palace is commonly referred to as the Forbidden City. While construction of the new royal palace was underway, more than 300 ships from China and the largest fleet of vessels sent out on a mission of exploration in the history of the planet was at full sail on the Indian Ocean. This was the first voyage of Zheng He, the envoy of the Ming Emperor. The Ming Emperor had a dream that his nation would become a formidable power, accorded due respect from lands across the ocean. To help him bring this about, the emperor selected Zheng He to be the commander. 35 years old, tall, handsome, courageous, and very intelligent. Zheng He had many military feats and accomplishments behind him, and what was more, he was familiar with diplomatic protocol. The purpose of Zheng He voyages was to show the rest of the world for wealth and prosperity of the Ming Dynasty and its policy for maintaining good relationships with his neighbors. As Zheng He's tactics involved presenting lavish gifts. To prepare for his voyages, half of the country have been busy collecting together examples of the best things the nation produced. Porcelain and silk made up the great portion of these gifts. The stuff he brought along fell into 3 categories. Material products, which included silk and porcelain. Chinese calendars, the lunar calendar that we use to guide the life cycle of the agriculture industry. And the 3rd category was cultural, which included books, languages, literature, customs, and habits. Hardly surprisingly, it was not the books and the literatures that attracted the most interest in the places where Zheng He dropped anchor, but the beautiful silks and brocades he brought with him, not to mention the porcelain whose exports reached unprecedented levels during the Ming Dynasty. The first capital city of Ming Dynasty was in Nanjing, to the north of the Yangtze River, neighboring the prosperous southern China. One of the purposes of moving the capital from Nanjing to Beijing was to consolidate defenses in the north. China's north was located in the middle of two very different civilizations, one of which was agricultural, the other nomadic. 98 years of Yuan reign obviously made an impression. All 5,000 kilometers of Great Wall were constructed with this problem in mind. The Great Wall was high, incredibly long and very solid, being built at massive slabs of stone all the way from its eastern end to its western end. The wall had passers, lookouts, stands, and beacon towers, thousands of them. Everything about it, its appearance, layout, and aesthetic design, testified to a maximum input of human effort and resources. Construction on the Great Wall had begun 2,000 years before, during the Spring and Autumn and Warring States periods, and work had continued on the wall right up until the time of the Ming Dynasty. It was a project unmatched by any other engineering project in terms of size, length, difficulty, and duration of time required to complete it. The engineering technology used in the construction of the Great Wall peaked during the Ming Dynasty, both in terms of the size of the structure could produce and the defense purpose for which it could be used.